Hey, sorry, man.
About what? There's a couple things you could be saying this for.
Your diagnosis?
Oh, boy. What happened?
It's tough, man.
Yeah,
It's tough. I don't know what to do this week. I mean, with your troubling diagnosis of fried rice syndrome.
Oh, yeah, your sister is an actual lunatic. A lunatic. Did she?
So this is a thing. This is a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I looked into it. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a special
I didn't know we were going here. This is
that
good.
grows. Okay. So Sunday we went over to Matthew's in my sister's home to celebrate my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Ash. And we ordered, or you ordered, Chinese food to feed us plentiful and pizzas, mind you.
Yeah,
for some fucking reason.
Gotta have both.
Yeah, I don't know.
Still
why,
eating the
but
pizza. By
Yeah,
the way.
I bet you are. It's insane how much food you had, but nonetheless, very, very generous, and we had a great day. And happened to notice I walked away with some leftovers, which I ate. Thank you on Monday.
How'd you feel? Good.
I felt terrific.
Good.
I felt terrific.
Good.
Yeah,
Everyone's good.
but you didn't.
Nope. Not I.
Sunday night. Okay, so walk me through it because I get a text around 9:00, checking in on my leftover situation
Of
because
course.
you had some of the food later on, and what happened when I left?
Yeah, so obviously hosting the party, people there, first concerns, everyone's eating, having a good time. I had quick slice of pizza. Didn't really touch the Chinese
Six
food.
Vivas.
I had a lot of Vivas. Couple Zins.
Let's not leave that detail out, but go ahead.
Go ahead. So anyway, but I was totally fine. You guys left. I had one or two more Vivas as I'm watching the 49ers
Naturally.
game. And, just maybe that's why I got sick. But I'll tell you, at about 5:30, I was like, hey, I'm going to eat some Chinese food because I'm
Sure.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
It's dinner
again.
time.
You
Yeah.
know,
And what else are we gonna eat?
We talked. We ate about what would we eat around 1? It was right around
Yeah,
football
right around
started,
1,
so
yeah.
I came back with it. So
Yep.
all right. So all of a sudden I eat. I'm heat up my Chinese food. I eat
Wait, stop there. So how'd you eat it up?
in the oven.
Okay, in the oven.
Yeah, everything goes in the oven.
At what temperature?
350.
Okay. Well, you didn't heat it up long enough, apparently.
No, the problem was the problem was the rice
Was fried.
was left out.
Right.
So
For
everything
5
else was
hours?
about 4 hours, 4.5
That's a long
hours or
time.
so, 5 hours. Yeah, but I thought
Pork fried rice.
Correct. I thought your sister had taken it out of the fridge.
No.
I didn't realize it never made it into the fridge, which is
No.
a detail that came into play after the fact. So,
All right, so you had this this bacteria-filled pork fried rice that was sitting on the...
tasted great. The MSG was perfect. The bacteria, whatever was growing.
How did it
was-
feel coming out?
Oh, my God. All of a sudden.
How long did it take?
Well, here's the thing. I'm sitting there. I put my son to bed like you do every night. He goes down.
Like 7 o'clock?
We're talking up a little later because the Niners choked away the game and I was angry. So we're talking about 7:45 probably get down.
Okay. So this is about 2 hours after the fact when you consume tainted fried rice.
Yep. So I go downstairs. I go take the dog out. We sit down. I'm ready to watch the Steelers game. There's now a weather delay. So I'm like, here we go. So whatever. Now, it's still in the weather delay. And all of a sudden, my stomach.
Your stomach, when you say your stomach, all I can think of is the scene in Dumb and Dumber when he's driving with a big smile on his face, and then all of a sudden your stomach gurgling.
Exact opposite
It
of
just
this.
goes blank.
So, it just started
You have
hurting.
10 minutes to find a toilet.
Basically, but but totally different. It just hurt. It was not like...
Well, yeah, it's bacteria.
But not like oh my God, I have a toe-curling shit about to arrive and I got to get home. It's an actual, my stomach just hurts. And I'm like, this is weird.
Right.
Then I started getting some heartburn because I'm like, oh boy. So I did have buffalo chicken pizza. So I'm like, oh, maybe something there. And then fast forward 5 minutes maybe, and I'm projectile vomiting.
Oh,
in
okay.
the
So it's
toilet.
coming out of both ends.
Fast. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, not same time, actually, thank God, because that would have been a disaster.
All right, so fried rice syndrome is a type of food poisoning caused by the bacterium Bacillus cereus, which can be found in starchy foods like rice and pasta before cooking.
Who knew?
The bacteria can survive cooking and digestion and can also affect other foods like meats and cooked vegetables. When food containing B. cereus
Yeah.
is left unrefrigerated for too long, the spores can develop into bacteria that can cause stomach issues, and there's a giant picture of your face right next to it.
Yeah, beautiful. It was a great time. Let me tell you. And then your sister's actual birthday is the next day. So I'm like, oh, boy. So I'm like, I don't know if I have a stomach bug or just food poisoning. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I stayed in the basement that night. But I'll tell you, threw up once, like 3 straight times, and then I left. And then I shit basically blood.
Yeah, so...
And then we came back up, and I was fine right after that. I didn't feel great.
Yeah,
but I was
you're
watching
still hurting.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And Dallas was now playing.
So this was multiple trips or no?
A couple. Like it was about like a 20-minute stretch where I was like in and out. Like I just didn't go too far from the old bathroom.
Well, in your defense, I would never think that of rice.
No.
I thought it was like the pork, because pork you need to, or any meat, you need to make sure the temperature is at least 150 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, chicken probably more so in terms of reheating it.
Yeah. The food was piping hot when I took it out of the oven. So I think it was more that we left
all the way
out.
through, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all the way through. I mean, it was...
Yeah,
I think
it's because you left it out. Yeah, that's all it was. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your diagnosis.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Of fried rice syndrome.
I'll tell you what. We're going to recap in a second, but the way the best bet melted and the Niners game melted, it turned out to be... I had a great Sunday, but it was a terrible Sunday.
Yeah, in terms of the best bet was an all-timer for you. All-timer. At least it wasn't a loss.
The game was over, Tuck.
Yeah. It was over. Yeah, when I left.
Into the recap?
Honestly, so when I left and I got home, it was about like over an hour drive. I got home, and I was operating under the assumption, watching the rest of the games, I got home around like 5:30. I was operating under the assumption that the Bengals won.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
So I popped up my fantasy app. I was like, holy shit, they lost. It was like 41. I was like, what the hell happened? And then that's when I realized. I was like, oh, God, he pushed. I
can tell you what happened. It was an epic proportion of meltdowns here from the Cincinnati Bengals. Offense, too. They're in the red zone.
Yeah.
With the Baltimore's got like a couple timeouts left.
Yeah.
Believe it was. But they need like a first down. I mean, they really didn't even need that. Like, they could have just kicked a field goal. They were very much in field goal range. And Burrow throws the worst pass of the day.
Yep.
Picked off. Ravens go down. Tucker hits his first 58-yard field goal in 2 years.
Yeah, he's finally waking up.
The wind. I'm watching the wind blowing like crazy. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, buried it right down the middle. Started out so left, and wind took it to the right. It's just perfect kick. Okay, we go to OT. I'm like, just got to win the toss. We just got to win the toss because this game, as we talked about, I like both teams into the 30s. We got to the 30s, then Ravens get the 40s. But like the actual kickoff goes to the Ravens. They're driving. I'm like, oh, this is over. They can't stop Baltimore.
Yeah.
And Lamar fumbles the snap. They snap it. He's trying to tell him to hurry up. They snap it. Fumble. Cincinnati gets it in field goal range, just outside of it.
Yep.
They run the ball 3 times. They haven't been able to run in all season, and they're running against the Baltimore defense. So they decided, we have Joe Burrow. We're not going to use him.
Yeah.
Okay. So already pissed off about this. They decided Evan McPherson from 55 is a better option. Terrible snap. Dropped.
Was there like a lot of wind? I didn't even realize.
It was a windy day.
Okay. I wasn't like fully engaged.
At least the flags
game.
at the top of the pole. I don't know what the actual wind was. It wasn't affecting the passing game clearly,
right,
but it was enough going on. But like terrible snap.
What a kick in the dick.
Drops the snap.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, please, dear God, just kick the field goal and push. In the first play, the Ravens get Derrick Henry breaks a run down the sideline.
Yeah, you almost got in.
Cut back at the 6. He didn't know the guy was behind him. He slowed up, and thank God. They just brought Tucker in, and it was a push.
Right.
Very lucky to push, but that game was over.
Right.
Cincinnati season back on, and they somehow did not cash that ticket.
I mean, at least it could have been worse.
Could have been worse. Could have lost, but like at the same time, like
that sucks.
That was tough.
Yeah, and then you shit your pants.
And then I shit and threw up, and it was great. Actually, in between, my 49ers decided to choke another game. The kicker couldn't play. Threw
up all over your drapes.
Terrible.
Well, not a great Sunday for you. But it's another week here on Better in Laws.
Yeah.
And if you're a first-time listener, thank you. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to us on YouTube and give us 5-star reviews and everything. And I know there's some of you out there who haven't done that yet.
Yeah, we
Bastards.
know.
Bastards, number 1. Number 2, how dare you?
Yeah, we know.
Subscribe, do that stuff, and it's over with. You don't have to do it again.
Well, you can like us constantly on YouTube. That's
I mean that, but the subscribe part is key.
Smash that.
That's all I want to say. So it's week 6 here on Better Laws. Tuck Silva, Matt Prisco here with you today. We have bye weeks this week of the Kansas City Chiefs, LA Rams, Miami Dolphins, and Minnesota Vikings. The undefeated Minnesota Vikings, mind you. But before we move on to week 6, aside from the Cincinnati push we just walked through, give us a quick recap of what we saw last week and what you saw from 2 and 3 Tuck.
2 and 3 Tuck hit the best bet though.
I did,
and went to 3 and 2.
Never a doubt.
Bets. Never in doubt. Packers -3. Hung on at the end. Yeah. Hung on. We tried to milk the clock a little too much there, Green Bay.
Yep. A little too cute.
A little too cute. Let's not do that again. Okay. All right. But you did win. Did cash. Double like there. But your best bet hits. Jets +3 was a double like for us. And, God, that game was frustrating. Talk about starting the day.
Cost Robert Sala his job.
17-0. They fall down after a pick 6 from Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. The Jets come back. I mean, they couldn't have played worse. The holding calls every time they threw the ball to Justin Jefferson.
They're a mess.
Flag.
The Jets are a mess.
God.
They're an absolute mess.
Still refusing to give the ball to Breece Hall. Makes no sense.
The Breece Hall thing is a mystery to me. I don't get it. Even with the kid Allen, you can get both those guys a lot more involved.
Yep. It's right now last week became Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson. Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson, which is a good thing for Garrett Wilson. It looks like they finally they're back on
it's
track.
Important, but still, trying to win the game or not.
Are we forcing things? And that throw at the end, he was waiting for Mike Williams to do a back shoulder catch. And credit Stephon Gilmore, veteran corner, knows he likes to throw the back shoulder. If you're throwing to Mike Williams, throw the ball up.
If I'm
go get it. That's what he does.
If I'm the Jets, I just include Mike Williams in the Devontae Adams trade. Be like, see ya.
Yeah,
we don't really need you anymore.
Well, but it feels like something's happening there with Devontae. That should be happening in the coming days.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know if it's the Jets, but nonetheless. All right, continue.
Jets,
sorry.
Saints. Anyway, double loss there. Carolina +4 in typical Tuck 2 and 3 Tuck fashion. When you lose, you lose.
Over immediately.
That did not cover.
Literally, look at all my losses. They're over immediately.
I mean, the Jets actually made a comeback to actually, they almost covered. So, but Carolina was not close.
Yeah.
Man, steamrolled by Chicago. Didn't see that coming. Jags Colts over 46. Beautiful play.
Thank you.
That smashed second half. Nice there. And then the Saints on Monday night +5.5 took the L there.
So I'll talk about this more later, but I meant to text you. I started getting this feeling. I think it was when I saw the Cowboys win over the Steelers.
Yep.
I was just like, you know what? I don't like the Saints pick anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. Kansas City's heading into a bye. They're at home. And the Chiefs know Derek Carr. And that's not something I brought up last week. So I apologize for that. I should have known better. And it was looking back, and it was baity as fuck to take the Saints. And I should have just went the other way.
I agreed with you on the show. I was on the Saints. But as the week went on, same thing here. I tweeted out on Monday.
Yeah.
The Saints are now starting to feel like
not
the
good
squarest dog of the year. The way everyone was suddenly on the Saints +5, and I'm like,
not anymore with the quarterback situation.
Well,
Carr's going to be out, but
a couple weeks anyway. But man, that felt it just felt like the whole world was on.
I did not feel good about my Saints 5.5 at all on Monday.
I mean, they kept
heading into the
late
game.
Third quarter. They were covering it. They came back to cover, but it wasn't really as close as the final score even indicated.
Right,
I feel like the Chiefs really were.
Yeah,
in
the
control
defense
the whole
was
time
insane.
There. Yeah. So, well, Chuck, shocker, 2 and 3 for the 5th straight week.
That's right.
It's actually becoming impressive.
That's a skill, my friend.
It's a skill. So 2 and 3 there, 10 and 15 on the year. Best bets 3 and 2. For me, we talked about the best bet of Cincinnati pushing. I don't ever want to mention that game again. We talked about the Jets. I had them. That was a loss. Houston +1.5. They ended up beating the Bills, although they made it a lot closer than it needed to be. It's 20-3, and then the Bills come storming back. Gave me a quick panic attack because why not? But we did end up winning that one, so we'll take that. Green Bay -3. We talked about that. That was a double like on the show, so win there. Pittsburgh -1.5. Talk about frustrating end of that game. They let Dak Prescott go down the field. Pittsburgh's offense went backwards.
I didn't watch any of that game.
Honestly. Fields was awful.
I watched maybe some because it was delayed. And I wake up early, so I'm not going to stay up for that.
Receivers wide open. Yeah. He's missing. He was awful. 3rd and goal, Tuck, if you didn't see this. 3rd and goal at the end of the game. Dak drives them down.
Yep.
handoff, collision at the goal line, fumble, ball goes backwards. Dak recovers it at the 5, 4th and goal, throws a touchdown. Cowboys win.
Games, yeah.
Cowboys win and cover. So it didn't hit that
all
one.
Right, so what were you
Recap,
for the week?
2-2-1 for me.
2-2-1. All right.
16-8-1 on the year, just 67%.
All right.
Not
well,
a big deal.
We're still teetering around 500 for the past couple of weeks in terms of the weekly picks. But you overall, what are you at?
67%.
All right.
So
16-8-1.
3-1-1 on best
All right.
bets.
Good. Very good. Very, very
settling in at
good. Making up for my lost ground here. But
all
we
right.
turn the page to week 6, and we will do our likes, cover the rest, and then the best to wrap up the pod.
Let's do it.
So let's get right into it. First like for me, and I'm looking at the card right now as we do right before the show. I am seeing a couple double likes here. So
couple double likes.
Could
I'm
be
looking
good,
at
could
it.
be bad based on last
I'm
week.
looking at this now. We have 2 double likes.
Okay.
One is on my best bet, so that's
Well,
nice. And
we
then we got
each have a like
in the London game.
So let's get right to it.
Yeah.
The Jags go to their second home turf in London. And I guess good timing with Hurricane Milton barreling into the Jacksonville. Well, I don't even know how much of Jacksonville is going to get hit, but Tampa's going to get bundled, unfortunately. But Jags head to London to take on the Bears. Total in this one is 44.5. Point total or the spread, is 2.5 favoring the Bears. And I'll go first here.
Okay.
Give me the Jags, Bears over 44.5 on this one. I went back and looked at the Jags team totals in London throughout their history. Since in the past 2 years, they've put up team totals of 23 and 25 in last year, and then in 2022, 21 points for a team total for the Jags. So they like to show up and put up offense. You're not seeing really any junk games lately from Jacksonville when they're playing in London. And then last week, we finally saw them show up, win, and put up a massive amount of points against a decent Colts defense, albeit banged up. But still, 37 points. With a struggling Trevor Lawrence, it seems like they're finally turning around with that offense. Tank Bigsby looks like a legit weapon out of that backfield now to pair with Travis Etienne. And overall in London, I forgot to mention this, they are 6-5. In terms of the Bears, they put up massive points last week against a poor opponent in the Panthers, but still, it was good to see that the offense was clicking, especially more so with Caleb Williams. They have a bye after this London game, but I think that they want to carry this offensive momentum into the bye and for that to carry over to play against the Washington Commanders, who have one of the best offenses in the NFL, as we all know.
Yep.
The Jaguars defense, they're allowing a league worst 287 passing yards per game. One of only 2 teams allowing more than 265 yards per game and 28.6 points per game, which is the 3rd worst in the league. And again, they allowed 34 points to the Colts last week, led by an offense of Joe Flacco, who passed for 359 yards against them last week. So 44.5, give me the over on that one.
Yeah, support the play. I think it's a good play here. I think you'll see some points in this game.
All right.
From my side, I have a like. It's on the Jags. Give me the plus 2.5 here. Jags in London. This is where they play their best football. Yes, they're 6-5, Tuck, but a lot of those teams are very bad. So they're still hanging in. They cover. They do God's work in London, where they beat Buffalo out there.
They do, yeah. They're more
years ago.
comfortable. It seems like, at least.
Very weird. It's their home away from home. So in this game, I actually give them a home field advantage. They've done this trip many times.
You do,
They
okay.
understand. So, I actually give them a point of value in this.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, but when had the Bears played in London? I don't know if they have. Or if they have, it's been multiple years.
Yeah, they haven't played there in a long time, and I can tell you that Caleb Williams certainly has not, right? So when you're talking about a team, I got to factor all of that in. So, Caleb's coming off, the Bears are coming off a huge win in Carolina, as you mentioned. That on the heels of coming up with a dominant second half against the Rams to beat them at home. But this is where the Bears are going to play football. They play well at home, right? So now they're going to go across the pond, rookie QB against the Jags team that now is starting to get healthier, right? They've had a lot of injuries on this team, both offensively, defensively. I expect Evan Engram to be back in this game.
Yeah.
You get the emergence of Tank Bigsby.
Yeah,
as
that's
you said.
huge, actually.
Etienne had a shoulder injury, but he's going to play in this game. He's going to be okay, so you get a nice 1-2 punch there. The Jags, 11th in the league, yards per play, 5.7 yards per play, where Chicago's offense just at 4.4. So as the Jags statistically look like one of the worst defenses, you got to keep in mind the amount of injuries they've had. So some of those guys getting back this week, so that'll be a good thing. They're better than a 1-4 team. Like, this is not your typical 1-4 team. The talent on this team is still there. I think it's a great spot for Jacksonville coming off their win. They go. No, but like I said earlier, nobody knows how to play in London better than the Jags. They're comfortable doing that trip. It's huge. So I think we're getting points in a game that I really throw as a coin flip, more towards a pick. So I expect the Jags to move the ball quite a bit in this game against the Bears D, because it is more of a road game for the Bears. It's not that home environment where they tend to play better defense. I think they cover the 2.5. I think the Jags win this game. So give me the Jags plus 2.5.
All right, well, there you go. And just not that it matters. I think it more so speaks to the Caleb Williams' inexperience in playing in London and doing this international trip. But the Bears have played in London 3 times, in '86, in 2011, and more recently in 2019 against the Oakland Raiders. So it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
new team, new coach, everything.
I like that. I mean, the only hesitation I have is that they're heading into a bye, so that they can maybe use that to their advantage. But maybe it's a distraction. It could be a distraction too. They're like, all right, well, let's just get to the bye here, and I guess let's enjoy ourselves in London a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I can tell you this though, like, if you're a Chicago fan, you're 3-2 with a rookie quarterback. You got to be pretty happy right now, and then coming off back-to-back wins. Now you go on the road, and not just the road, but across to another country. It's a lot. That's a lot to ask. And against a team who's just now, it's like they're used to this. This is a trip they make every single year. They know how to do it. They know how to do it right. Just like I like backing the Jags in London.
All right. Well, my second like here, I'm looking at Gillette Stadium with a new quarterback at the helm and Drake May, who should have been starting since week 1, if you ask me. I mean, they're the second lowest scoring team in the league, averaging 12.4 points per game. Last week was one of the worst football games I've seen versus the Dolphins on both sides of the ball. But in terms of a Patriots fan, like, it doesn't get any worse than that, man. It doesn't get any worse than that in the fashion that you lost it. Yeah, very disappointing. So, nonetheless, they hand over the keys to rookie quarterback Drake May in what I think is probably not a great matchup for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Against a true perennial Super Bowl contender here in the Houston Texans. It should have been last week, if anything. I think everybody's been consistent saying that. It was just a easy spot. You get back-to-back home matchups to roll out Drake May, and you start off versus a very bad Dolphins team. And then you head over to London. Like, that was the stretch to do it. But like I said, it should have been going back to week 1, really. But, you know, I could see this moving in the Patriots' favor, honestly, this line of 7. Like, I could see it going to 6.5 because people are going to start buying into this, you know, seeing all these quotes of Drake May is, you know, really trending up, and he's, you know, Gerard Mayo was complimentary of him today. A couple other players were complimentary of him today, and this is Wednesday around 1 o'clock. I'm not buying it. It's a lot of pressure to put on this kid in this first week against a very tough team with the Houston Texans here. I don't put any stock into the fact that the Texans are going to be without Nico Collins for this one. I don't think it matters too much for that offense. Let's see if Joe Mixon gets back into the mix. This is the Tank Dell breakout game this year. Everybody's been waiting for him to bust out. He's been a disappointment to this point. This is the Tank Dell game.
Okay.
Mark my words. Tank Dell game, DFS. Pat's D continues to be an issue. Pat's O-line is going to be very overwhelmed by this Texans front. They just made the Bills and Josh Allen look pretty pedestrian, honestly, and they put Josh Allen on his ass. I can see the Texans easily covering this. Not by a blowout margin, but I can see them winning by 9-10 points. I got this kind of pegged for 27-17, call it.
Okay. Well, a little more offense from the Pats. 17, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's 7 more points than they had last week.
A little run around for Drake May. Yeah, I can't bet this game. I don't know what to expect.
I can. Trust me.
You listen, you watch them in and out. I'll tell you this. Nico Collins going on IR, big loss for Houston. I know you mentioned that you're not worried about that. I am, because I watched that team last week when he left the game and they couldn't do much. Now, granted, Joe Mixon wasn't in there,
but also it was a mid-game injury to your best offensive weapon.
You do get to prepare, and they have plenty of guys they can get the ball with if you have a week to prepare. You're right on that front, but I don't know. This Drake May thing is just insane. I think the players want it. I know most fans want it.
the players want it. Yep.
Most fans want it, but that O-line is so bad. I don't know if this is. I don't know. When you have a young quarterback, the one thing you got to make sure you have when you put him in is an offensive line, because they're going to struggle to begin with anyways. You're going to have ups and downs. He's going to do things on Sunday like, wow, this is why he should be in.
He's going to have a touchdown.
And then
he's going to have a touchdown.
I'm sure. And then also, on the flip side, he's going to do things that are like, oh boy. Or he's going to get hit a lot. So one thing about Brissett, he was taking a beating back there. So, was he as accurate?
He's slow as shit, though. That's the thing.
True. So, we'll see how it pans out. I want to sit back, watch this one. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I think Houston wins, and they probably do cover. Tuck. I mean, I can't get there. 7.5. It came down to 7. It opened at 6. So I think it's about right. I think you might be right where it lands 6.5, 7.
Well, let's not forget that Steph Diggs knows this defense as well, and albeit it's a different defense than Belichick, but still, he has an idea of how to play at Gillette Stadium.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Patriots suck at home. They suck at home.
They have not been good lately.
I think they're 7-22.
Yeah.
Over the past few seasons.
The non-Brady era has been rough to them at home.
Oh, they're so bad at home. So bad at home. So it's it's square shit. I recognize that. And we have this whole Julius Peppers situation now.
Oh yeah,
and he was just put on the commissioner exempt list. So
looks good.
I mean, it's just a fucking shit show. This organization's a shit show.
Not a good look from your captain.
No, not at all. To say the least, it sucks. And he's a great player.
Yeah.
And you subtract that from the defense. I don't know if Kyle Duggar's going to be back, but it sucks. I just 7's comfortable for me.
Good news is your front row seat is for the first overall pick right now. You are the number 1 pick.
Yeah, hopefully you trade back and get more assets, honestly.
Get some linemen.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
Yeah, trade back.
Get some linemen.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to your second here, man.
All right, Cleveland going to Philadelphia. Philly laying 8.5.
Coming off a bye.
Big number, sure, but I don't care. Give me the Eagles minus 8.5. Here are the point totals Cleveland's allowed this year. Ready, Tuck? 33 to Dallas, 21 to the Giants, 20 to Vegas, 34 to Washington. So you're probably saying, okay, Matt, well, there's a couple low 20s in there, but that's to the Giants and to Vegas, okay? Vegas that didn't have Devontae Adams, no running game. That Vegas, terrible. The other two NFC East teams besides the Giants who were figuring themselves out, we'll talk about the Giants in a little bit. Daniel Jones early on when they played him still looked like he was a little rusty coming back from that injury. I think the last couple weeks he's settled in a little bit. So 21 to that version of Daniel Jones and the Giants, I don't like that. 33 to Dallas, 34 to Washington. I fully expect Philly, another NFC East team, to go in and score more than both of those teams. I think they put up 35-plus in this game. Cleveland's an absolute mess.
Even on the defensive side, they haven't impressed.
Exactly. Until they change their quarterback, they're going to continue to be a mess.
Yeah, the whole team is just down.
They're down. They're down. It's not only is Watson playing bad, but he looks like he could care less. They asked him at the podium after the game, do you think you should be benched, essentially? And he's like, well, whatever coach wants to do. That's not what I want to hear from my starting quarterback. I don't know about you, but if I'm if someone's asking Brock Purdy if he deserves to be benched, and Brock Purdy's like, whatever Kyle Shanahan wants to do, I would be livid. I
heard something that he just got over his 24th settlement.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. He's another one that just is
24th.
now settled. Yeah, a new one. Yeah, that one's done.
Holy crap.
So, just absolute mess.
Piece of shit he is.
Awful, and the team can't stand him. And then there's Kevin Stefanski, who's almost in this impossible situation because you gave this guy not him, but the organization gave him a fully guaranteed contract. But I'm telling you, not only do they lose this game, they're not going to cover this game. He's going to get benched after this game. I'm telling you, the Browns are going to change their quarterback after this game, and they need to. Look at Joe Flacco last year. When they put Flacco in after the injury, He took them to the playoffs. They played better as a unit.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson's holding this team
Give
back.
it to Jameis Winston, baby.
Jameis is going to get some playing time after this week. You mark my words.
Yeah.
Until then, until they make the change, I'll lay a large number with Philly, a Philly team who's getting A.J. Brown back, Devonta Smith back, Lane Johnson back. The Eagles are healthy. No team needed a bye early on in the season more than the Eagles did. They're back, healthy. Not even that bozo clown show Nick Sirianni can keep them from not covering this number. Feed me the Eagles.
Well,
that's always an 8.5.
That's always a little wrinkle.
Yeah, probably.
Is the Sirianni factor.
Just go for 2. Just start going for 2 instead of kicking extra points next. Why not? That's fine. 8.5. Let's cover it, Nick. All right?
Well, yeah,
8.5.
he probably saw the 49ers, Moody, get hurt last week. He was like, well, I'm going to be smart and just not throw out a kicker.
Yeah, he loved
these extra points.
He probably looked at the 4th and 23 they had on the 30 and was like, oh, I love this play call. We're going to throw a pass to the 10.
Yeah.
Love it. Idiot. But the Eagles still cover this. Blowout city. I do not, you know me, I do not like to lay large numbers in the NFL.
Yeah.
I am in no way worried to lay it here.
All right. Well, my next like is a double like for us. Detroit Lions coming off a bye week here, heading on the road to Dallas, and they are favored by 3. Give me the Detroit Lions -3. The Cowboys at home, the last few games, 28 lost to the Ravens, 44 points allowed, lost to the Saints, and then going back to the Packers game in the playoffs where they allowed 48 points. And that's when they were healthy for the most part on defense. Now, you still don't have DeMarcus Lawrence. You still don't have Micah Parsons. I don't think he's going to be back this week. Cowboys were lucky last week to win against the Steelers. This is still not a good team. They're not even close to what they were last year. Lions are well-rested coming off a bye. I trust a coach like Dan Campbell to get this team ready coming off the bye and to take shit seriously. And he did that last year. I went back and looked at their record. They had a win last year coming off their bye. But the other wrinkle that I really like about this Lions team is that they know they have the Vikings on deck after the Cowboys here. Mm-hmm. They cannot come out and win or lose on the road in Dallas for this one with the Vikings on deck. They absolutely have to win this game. And if it's by a field goal, all day. Give me the Lions -3.
Yeah, that's one thing. And also, this is a play for me, double like, as you mentioned, Detroit -3 here. Square as anything, don't care.
Yeah,
that does
I don't care if it's square as shit.
The one element to this game that scares me is that Minnesota's on deck.
See,
like, that look
for
ahead.
A guy like Dan Campbell, though, it doesn't because he's such a motivating guy.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of a mean word, but I don't want to be mean about it.
Yeah, bonehead. Well, he's kind of
a tool bag.
He's like a Flintstone.
He's kind of a tool.
He's just like a
Flintstone. Yeah, he's a meathead.
He's a meathead.
But the team rallies around him.
Caveman.
And the fact that they're coming off the bye, it would be different if they were if they had just played last week.
Yeah.
I think this would not be a play for me. But they're coming off a bye. They're well rested. Their offense has turned a corner. I know that Jared Goff has kind of had some bumps in the road here, but they found a weapon finally with Jameson Williams. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to light it up in Dallas.
Yep. So I agree. What I said to you before about Minnesota worrying me, what offsets that for me is the game they played last year in Dallas when they had the tackle-eligible player, and if you remember that game, they lost because they said he didn't report.
That's right.
Said he
That's
reported.
What that was. Okay, good call. Good
revenge factor for me here.
Love it. Love it.
I think Detroit wants to win this game just as much as they're going to worry about Minnesota next week. In fact, I think they want to go in there and absolutely run down this team's throat. And guess what? I think that's perfect. Lions coming off a bye. Dallas coming off a hard-fought road game against the Steelers. I talked about this a little bit earlier. I did not expect Dak Prescott to go down the field, so kudos to him. He did. They win. But this is the team in the Lions coming off the bye, as you said, well-rested, healthy as they need to be. And they need this game to stay close with Minnesota, right? Minnesota's 5-0, so they got to win, make next week's game for first place. That's important. I really, truly believe Detroit's offensive line is going to destroy Dallas in this game. Big game coming from both David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs here. It's going to be a long day for that Dallas defense who can't stop the run to begin with, and they're still going to be missing their 2 best defensive players. The Lions are 6th in the league in rushing at 151 yards per game, and Dallas's run defense, 24th in the league, giving up 135 a game. Dallas still cannot run the ball on offense.
Dowdle looks pretty good, though.
He looks okay. He's been better in the passing game, in my opinion. He stepped up a little bit. No,
they still need a legit back, though.
Yeah, they don't have a rushing attack, right? And Detroit's 4th in the league stopping the run. So good luck. You're going to be one-dimensional. The Lions know that. Everyone in the place knows it. CeeDee Lamb will get his. He'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Jake Ferguson will get his targets. From fantasy perspective, play those guys. They're going to score. But when you make a team like Dallas one-dimensional against a team that's going to just wear you down at the offensive line, it's not good. It's not great for Dallas. I don't think they compete in this game. At a certain point, Detroit's going to pull away because they think they're not going to be able to keep up. If Dallas covers this spread, Tuck, I will be absolutely stunned.
Yeah,
Lions -3 for me.
Yeah, and the point total on this one's 52. I would actually lean towards the under on that one, believe it or not.
Yeah, I do too.
This kind of feels like the Lions-Cardinals game from a couple of weeks ago, similar point total.
I agree with that.
But I just don't know how the Cowboys' offense can keep up with the Lions. I think this is like Lions well into the 30s, and then Cowboys are kind of like low to mid-20s. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's right there, but I would lean under.
My favorite of the likes. I'll say that.
All right. There you go. My final like is your best bet. So why don't you just bang out your final like here?
All right.
Controversial one coming up here, folks.
I'm going to just be disgusting to everybody, and they're going to say, Matt, why are we doing this again? We're sick of this. But it's the Jets. Monday night, hosting the Bills.
I'm not feeling this one.
Give me the Jets, +2.5. Fired Robert Saleh. This is rule number 1. You fire a coach, you bet on that team the next week.
Mm-hmm.
This trend hits like 75%. I have the exact number in front of me. It's around 75%. It's just insane. It's something about the team being a little extra motivated. New coach, Jeff Ulbrich, a defensive coordinator who's now stepped up. He's a well-liked ex-player.
Meathead.
Players like a meathead. You get that one-game rally. That's not to say the players didn't like Saleh, but something was off there with that team. And I don't know if Saleh was the problem, but he certainly wasn't the right guy to fix it.
He was the wrong guy for the team. Guy for the team. And they should have fired him the offseason.
Aaron Rodgers is coming out saying, "Oh, nothing to do with it, nothing to do with it, nothing to do with it." It feels like Aaron Rodgers probably had a lot to do with it.
I saw he was on McAfee today.
Yeah,
just like, gee, I wonder what he's saying.
Yeah, and he's like, I get offended when you say
Interesting
that.
timing.
Please, Aaron. We all know.
Yeah.
We all know what happened.
And now there's rumors circulating about, like, Saleh wanted to demote Nathaniel Hackett for play calling duties.
He should. He should. That would be right.
But that's Rodgers' boy.
Exactly. That's probably what this actually came down to. Because Nathaniel Hackett, with or without Aaron Rodgers, is an absolute bozo in 2024. And he's been a bozo for the last 3 to 4 years. He was great in Green Bay with him, but that's when Aaron Rodgers was in his prime. Now Aaron Rodgers not in his prime, different topic for a different day. But for this game, targeted Monday night, same game as week 1 in the NFL season last year. Buffalo goes to the Jets. Rodgers comes out with an American flag, tears his Achilles like 3 plays into the game. So
it was hilarious.
Jets still won that game. And this is part of the handicap as well. It's not just the coach being fired play for me. The Jets, you can go back, not even just that game last year. They play Josh Allen really well. Josh Allen struggles against that defense. They play the Bills in a man-to-man way, and the defense can slow down this offense. Now they don't even have a guy like Stephon Diggs who was really helpful for Allen in these types of games.
Yeah.
He's gone. I think the Jets' defense suffocates this Bills' offense in their young weapons, right? Like Shakir, still banged up. Who knows if he's going to go? He's questionable right now.
I think he'll play.
I think he's going to play.
Still up in the air.
I think he's going to play as well, but even if he does, not worried about it. Both teams coming off 2 straight losses, so don't really love fading the Bills in this position.
Right, that's where I'm at.
But I'm playing the history. The Jets just play Josh Allen well. They'll be at home. This crowd's going to be fired up. They need this win.
The primetime element scares me off the Jets.
It plays on for me just because I think in this place the Jets are going to I think they're going to ride their fans. The defense is going to step up. It's going to be a low-scoring game in this game, in my opinion. I think you're looking at like 20-17, something.
Okay.
Field goal game, and we're taking within the field goal. So I'm saying the Jets need to win this game. It's going to be a close game. That's all I'm going to say. I think the Jets win this game. They just have too much talent, and I know Buffalo's good, but let's not forget that Sean McDermott is still an idiot.
Yes.
So I like the fact that the Jets got a coaching change. I think Aaron Rodgers gets the guys ready. I like the connection he had with Garrett Wilson. I think he does spread it out a little bit. Yeah. I don't think the defense of the Bills is as good as the Vikings or anybody else they've played recently. So give me the Jets here. I think they win this game.
Yeah. I'm always one to dabble on the coaching change aspect. I always tend to favor the team. I just think that this is an organization that continues to be in disarray, and it boils down to the Jets are going to jet for me. That's where I'm at, and especially the wrinkle that you mentioned, the Bills coming off a loss. It gives me a lot of pause here. I think that the Jets are the talking point of I think that they should have waited until after this game to fire Saleh, because now what everybody's talking about this week leading up to Monday Night Football on a primetime spotlight is the Jets. Everybody's talking about the Jets. Yeah. And that's going to put pressure on this entire organization and the team.
I get it, but I think that's what the public thinks, and and when I say the public, I mean just like the general public. And I'm not talking from a betting standpoint. I'm saying like the general public, they're going to think about like how big that is from the team's perspective. Mm-hmm. They're fired up to go win one for their new coach. So that's the way it is.
That's where I'm at, though.
I think they are. I think they will be.
Okay.
I think they will be. One of the key thing I forgot to mention in this game, the Bills, 26th in the league stopping the run, giving up 144 yards a game. It's time to run the ball again.
The Jets can't run.
It's not that they can't run. They haven't run.
Right.
They're deciding not to run. They're deciding to let Aaron Rodgers get
Well, if they do that, then they'll win.
Got to run the ball, and I think Ulbricht's going to comes from the Niners. Yeah. They're going to run the ball.
Listen, I hope you're right. I think that the Jets are a complete mess. And I'm not the only one who thinks that, obviously.
They're a complete mess. Let's not disagree here. They are a mess, but they need one game, and it's this week.
All right. All right, so like I mentioned, my final like is your best bet, so we're going to hold off on that one. So let's get to the rest here. Thursday Night Football, 49ers in Seattle, correct?
Yep,
to take on the Seahawks. They are favored. The 49ers favored by 3.5 here. Point total in this one is 49, and you have a strong lean here, Matt.
Yeah, I bet this game at 3. I'd bet it at 6.5. I'd bet it at 9.5. I think San Francisco blows the doors off Seattle.
Okay.
They're acting like this is their season. So, I think the Niners they're still very good. It's hard. They're a hard team to taking my fan hat off and just my gambling hat on.
Didn't they smoke them once last year?
They smoked them in Seattle and in San Francisco. They own Geno Smith. They've owned this version of Seattle. Like Russell Wilson owned them. They used to really struggle with Russ.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite with Geno Smith. Now, Seattle, it's just as much about Seattle as it is San Francisco here for me. Seattle is dreadfully overrated. We're seeing this. They just lost a game to the Giants. And we talked about this last week. It was a look-ahead spot. But who was even on the field for the Giants? They didn't even have Malik Neighbors. They didn't have Devin Singletary. And they still get buried.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the field goal to tie it, the block field goal.
I mean,
they were awful.
Geno looked okay in the latter half of the game. Like, he made a couple big plays, but still, like, they were out of sync that entire game.
And I just think it's because they're not that good. We talked about their wins early on in the season against, Bo Nix in his first game. They got him at home. He played the Patriots. They took him to overtime. If looking back, like, Jesus Christ. The third game is Skylar Thompson led Miami Dolphins. Those are their 3 wins.
Right.
Now you have a hungry, desperate San Francisco team who's just hearing about how they can't close late, how they keep blowing these games. And I know we came into the studio today, and I was talking to you, and it's my opinion is this is where they're really starting to miss Christian McCaffrey down the stretch, is like closing these games out. Like Jordan Mason's been great, but there's a different element to have a guy like Christian McCaffrey on the field, catching passes, running, extending a play. Does he get in the end zone instead of fumbling at the 10-yard line to put that game away? Last week, little freak incident with Jake Moody, so they had no kicker in the second half. They had to start going for it on 4th downs in the red zone, like when you would just be kicking field goals. The Niners should have been up by 2 scores in that game with ease, and it came back to bite them. So they got a kicker. They're going to Seattle. Season pretty much on the line, and they've just had a good history with this team. I love San Francisco here, and I know this team as well as anyone, and I can promise you they're going to come out and play, and they're crisp wearing white uniforms.
But no Thursday night plays.
But this would be close to my bet. It would be my best bet on this show if it was not a Thursday night game. There you go. No best bets, though. No bets for Thursday
No Thursday night best bets, but Thursday night bets.
There you go.
Baltimore Ravens hosting the Washington Commanders. Ravens coming off with a massive victory, as we discussed. They are favored by 6.5 points here. Point total in this one is 51.5 as they welcome in the high-flying Washington Commanders here. And I think this is a game, I'm not betting it, but this feels like a spot where the Commanders get a little bit of a wake-up call, doesn't it? A little bit of a slap in the face.
Yeah. I can't bet this game because every time I love Jaden Daniels. I don't think anybody in the world expected this to happen, like what he's doing out there. We did say on the show, though, I said I think Washington's going to be a playoff team this year. But even me did not expect Jaden Daniels to look like this.
Yeah. Like,
he's been incredible. Now, this is a different element. And, this is a spot where we usually see Baltimore just blow doors. He's 21-3 against the NFC. So,
wow.
At home, this is where the Ravens usually smash. The reason it's not even a play.
It's Beatty.
The reason it's not even a play. This Ravens defense, man, they're not okay against the pass right now.
No.
They can't stop the pass.
No, they got issues.
I can see this getting into it. I mean, you see it in the line, 51.5, 52. Like, there's going to be points in this game. And I kind of lean over.
Yeah.
I think these two are going to go back and forth on each other. But in the back of my mind, Lamar 21-3 against the NFC, and they just bury teams like this at home. They remember last year. I think you were on the Lions, getting 3 in Baltimore, and they lost like 37-3 or something ridiculous. Like this is what they do at home. So but this is a different pass defense. So would normally be on Baltimore here, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Saints home dogs 3.5 points here. Point total is 41.5 as they welcome in the division rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I don't know who's going to be the quarterback. Is it what's that?
Spencer Rattler?
No, it's the other kid.
They're going to play Hainer?
I don't know.
Jake Hainer?
Do they officially announce it?
I think Rattler's going to go. Hainer might play.
It should be
we'll
Rattler.
See.
Should be Rattler. But just too weird of a spot.
Yeah, when you don't know the quarterback, it's tough.
Yeah,
I bet Tampa +2 on Monday, and I'm just waiting to see how I lose that.
Why were they +2?
Because they were dogs before Carr got hurt. I played it before they played Monday night.
Oh, interesting.
Look ahead.
Look at you. You knew Carr was going to get hurt.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? And I say this, I was texting my buddy the other day, and I'm like, going back to last year when I was 15-3 on best bets, I lost 2 of those best bets using Tampa or against Tampa. So when I bet on or against Tampa, I can't figure them out. I was on them Thursday night in Atlanta. They found a way to lose that. It's just like any time I'm on Tampa. I was in Washington week 1. Tampa beat them. I can't get Tampa right. So I fully expect the Saints to now win this game because I'm on Tampa with a +2 here and no quarterback.
Titans coming off a bye week. They're home dogs by 1 point, taking on the Colts coming off of a shootout matchup with the Jaguars here, and the point total in this one is 43. If I'm the Titans, I just pound the run with Tony Pollard and keep Will Levis short and sweet and not turnover friendly. I don't know. Keep that guy contained.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hopefully they figure shit out during the bye week.
I like the over here. In fact, I'm gonna bet the over. Indy's defense is atrocious. If Levis plays, he probably gets a turnover or 2 and pick 6 potential. But Tennessee's gonna score on
this entire
Indy.
time. The Titans have had a fine offense in terms of weapons.
Yeah,
it's just been the quarterbacks
and their O-line. They're both terrible. But Mason Rudolph came in and at least moved the ball a little bit against Miami. The quarterback situation's tough.
Is Richardson back?
I don't know that either.
Yeah,
is Flacco
I give
playing,
him another week.
Joe Flacco's playing, I really like this over at 43.
Yeah.
42.5 in some spots. Jeez.
We have the Chargers going on the road in Denver. Denver 3-point home dogs. A lot of home dogs here.
Yeah.
35.5 point total on this one. Chargers also coming off a bye.
This is so baity. This is so baity.
It was very close for the Chargers for me.
Because that's Vegas telling you something, in my opinion. Denver's won 3 games in a row. Well, it's going to be under. Yeah, it's going under.
Yeah.
These two defenses. Everyone's like, Denver's defense has been great, and they have.
This is 16-14.
Denver's front has been unbelievable. They're good. They are a really good defense.
Yeah.
The Chargers are better. So, their defense has been lights out. I mean, but to lay 3 on the road.
Yeah.
Like, I make this game 1, the Chargers -1.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's 3, this is telling me you got to bet the Chargers. Don't get caught. Or stay away. This feels like a stay away. Under, though. I like the under.
Raiders, home dogs, 3 points, taking on the Steelers, 36.5 point total here. And that's a very, very similar point total and spread to the Chargers and Broncos here. I wanted to take the Steelers, given the chaotic organization that is the Las Vegas Raiders with the Devontae Adams situation. But I just don't know who's going to be starting at quarterback. Have they announced Fields as official, or is there a chance we see Russell Wilson?
I don't know. I think that there's a real chance. There's whispers out of Pittsburgh that this is Russell Wilson time.
They should make the switch.
Fields lost them the game. They continue to see Fields like some days looks amazing. Other days he looks like it's his first day playing quarterback. It's weird. It's tough because he's got talent. And it's just like, how do you be consistent? Then on Vegas' side, who's the quarterback? Minshew, Aiden O'Connell. He's pulling Minshew last week for Aiden O'Connell. Now just like, it's crazy. I don't know who's playing quarterback. How do you play this game? I also don't like playing Pittsburgh as a favorite of 3 or more. So,
and the final of the rest, we have the Bengals on the road in New York to take on the Giants. Giants home point dogs, 3.5 points. Point total on this one is 48.
6th like.
You like the over?
Actually 7th because I told you I like the Niners.
You like the over?
I like the Giants.
Oh, you like the Giants. Okay.
I didn't put this on the card
total's
because
high, man.
I think it's going to go over because Cincinnati couldn't stop me, you, and 9 guys we find on the street.
But it's Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones looked good the last couple weeks, and he did it without Neighbors last week. And Neighbors will be back for Sunday night. Who the hell are the Bengals getting the hook here?
I do like this kid. That's true. That's a good point. I like this kid, Tyrone Tracy.
He's been good.
Yeah.
They'll mix him in with Singletary.
Keep him going.
Yeah.
Now you got Wan'Dale Robinson, who's finally looking legit.
The Giants are okay. Keep in mind, week 2 they should have beat Washington. They didn't. Their kicker got hurt in the beginning of the game. They missed 3 extra points. They went for 2 every time. They didn't get it, and they lost by 1 point. So the Giants are playing good football. They're a good team. On no planet should the Bengals be getting 3.5 here.
No,
I'm telling you right now, if you have 3.5. You bet the Giants. Don't buy in. I think the reason I haven't bet this game yet is because I think the public's going to get involved and be like, oh, Cincinnati, a must-win game. They're going to go back. Cincinnati's defense is so bad. So bad. Joe Burrow's
They're not going to make the playoffs.
Joe Burrow's playing the
best.
Gone. He's playing the best football of his career right now.
Yeah.
And they are 1-4. That's psychotic.
They're just blowing this opportunity with their offense right now.
They give up 19 to the Pats.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude.
Insane.
Yeah, I know earlier on in the season we were talking about the job security of Brian Daboll, but I think that's gone.
No, I like Daboll as a coach. I agree.
Look at the Giants.
I've liked him.
Giants can make an interesting run here for a wild card.
There's a nice plus number. I was going to mention this. There's a plus number next to hit the Giants on that to make the playoffs.
What is that at?
Last night it was plus 2 something. I want to say 225. I saw on FanDuel.
That's not bad.
I think it's a great bet.
I mean, you got
considering the Jets at the same record are minus 110.
By the way, this is Sunday Night Football.
I can't get on FanDuel.
It's so you have the Giants, then you got the Eagles, which is tough. Then you have the Steelers, Commanders, tough. Panthers, Bucks, Cowboys, Saints, Ravens, Falcons, Colts, Eagles. So
where's the loss? I haven't heard a lot. No, I'm kidding. But
yeah, I mean, figure they split with the Eagles.
Can you
split
beat Dallas?
With the Cowboys? Maybe you can beat Dallas twice.
Well, they already lost to Dallas once.
Oh, excuse me.
But
they split
close
that.
Game,
you could beat the Saints. You could beat the Panthers. Obviously, wouldn't shock me if they beat the Falcons.
Point is, the Giants
they could make the playoffs.
There's a shot.
There is.
I mean, the Giants have talent, and their defense is legit. Brian Burns.
Yeah, they had a great offseason with their defense.
They're not as bad as you think.
No.
If you dive into, you watch them play. Daniel Jones is playing good football. He is.
He finally is turning it around.
We'll see. I'm not ready to
He's got to stay there, though. That's the problem.
Last 2 weeks, he's been very consistent playing football. He's looked much better. Can you do it? Cincinnati, this is a game the Giants can win. I'm telling you.
I agree. I'll probably sprinkle the money line, honestly.
I got to be honest.
Not bad.
There is a desperation play from Cincy here because this is your season if you lose. Part of me still feels like they can get it figured out and make a playoff run, but they got to fix the D, and I don't know how you do it.
84%. are on the money line for the Bengals, and 76% are on the spread for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm playing. I've not bet this yet because I think it's going to go to 4. But I am very comfortable playing 3.5.
All right,
just want
there
a
you
better
go.
number. I actually am going to play the 3.5 right now.
Oh, look at you.
Going to play right now.
All right, 6 like.
If it goes to 4, I'll play it again. And if it goes to 4.5, I'll play it a third time.
All right, let's get to the best bets here, and this might be my Squares play of the year. I don't care. Give me the Falcons on the road in Carolina to take on the Panthers, -6. Falcons are well-rested, coming off a miraculous, thrilling overtime victory over their divisional rival Tampa Bay Bucks. And I feel like that was a major turning point for this team, especially with Kirk Cousins. He played his best game easily as an Atlanta Falcon in that game. They're going to get to play the worst defense in the NFL with the Carolina Panthers. So it's nice to see Cousins is finally clicking with Drake London. Kyle Pitts is going to Kyle Pitts, but hopefully you can get him more involved, and maybe this is a breakout spot for him.
He played well last Thursday.
Yeah. Well,
who didn't? He threw 1,000 yards.
Let's build off that. Kyle
Yeah.
Pitts.
I know
it's about time, and Bijan Robinson's due. He's way overdue to bust out, and this could be the spot. I mean, considering what DeAndre Swift did to this Panthers defense last week, he should have 3 touchdowns last week. DeAndre Swift. Yeah, it's square. I fully admit that, but the Falcons, they're probably a couple of plays away. You can make a case where they should be 4-1 or maybe even 5-0. I still think they're a playoff team, and this is a game where they should take care of business by over a touchdown. Falcons -6 here for me.
Yeah, staying away from it, but I like your points. I just did a lot of points to lay on the road in a division game. The Panthers are so banged up, though.
Yeah, that's
best
where I'm at.
Players everywhere.
That's
are
where
just
I'm at.
So hurt. Yeah, no, gotcha. I really don't have any play here. I don't like the number, but I support your handicap.
Okay.
I'll say that.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I just closed my notes, of course.
Best bet.
All right, well, let's jump ahead to It's my final like and your best bet. Kind of a reversal of last week.
Yeah, and we hit that. It was
my best bet and your final like, and now we're switching sides here.
We're switching sides, and it's the same team.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. Take it away.
All right.
Matthew's best bet.
Best bet is the Green Bay Packers -5. Perfect fade spot of Arizona.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Huge comeback win against the division foe in San Francisco, a team that's just beating them up year after year. Very excited. Now it's time. Turn the page and travel across the country and go play the Packers at home. Good luck. This is a game Kyler Murray always loses. It's a big game. After wins a big game, next week disappears. Right after you think that they're going to come, and now Arizona's like, okay, Kyler's good. Kyler's great. Kyler is good. But if Kyler wants to be great, this is a game he needs to win or at least even cover. They disappear in these games.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same old Cardinals. I will earn so much respect for Kyler Murray if they go in and even cover this number.
If they win this game, they should make the playoffs.
This is so. It just in my handicap notes. If the Cardinals cover this game or win this game, this is now going to change how I want to bet them for the rest of the year. I'm going to be on them.
Big spot.
So I think it's a huge spot, but I'm also fading tradition of Kyler Murray in this spot. It's just no chance. I simply don't like them here. Green Bay's defense, statistically not great, but very opportunistic, always creating turnovers. And you get a guy like Kyler who,
I thought they looked decent last week, the defense. They kind of collapsed a little bit when the Stafford comeback
Rams
occurred.
Offenses was...
But for the most part, they were causing havoc.
Yeah, that's what they do. So
Yeah.
they give up big plays.
Right.
So there's going to be points in this game. If you're going to ride with me here, take it easy. The Cardinals are going to score points most likely. So I do expect the Cardinals to score, but Kyler just gets a little crazy sometimes, throwing off his back foot. He did it last week. He threw a ball on 4th and 10, a little prayer Hail Mary that Marvin Harrison came down with, extended the drive that they ended up kicking the field goal on to win the game. Those types of things don't work, week after week. So that's one piece. On offense, no question, Jordan Love's looked a little sluggish, but in both games in the second half, he started to pick it up in late second quarter, and he does love playing at home. I think they got a little too cute. I mentioned this earlier. towards the end of that game where they tried to just run the ball, run the clock out, and it almost came back to bite them. They let the Rams back in the game. So learning moment. We don't let that happen. We step on the throat and we go for it. This Arizona defense is not good. Even last week when Brock Purdy was dropped back to pass, he did what he wanted. They, in that game, especially in the first half when they were throwing all over them.
Purdy was twirling it.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love's going to do the same thing. At the end of the day, I think we're getting some value here in this number because of the Arizona comeback last week. I think everyone looks at them like, wow, they beat San Francisco, came back to do it. Huge win. I don't disagree, but I think you're seeing some value in the number here. I think Green Bay is going to absolutely light this team up on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I'm playing the better team with a Kyler Murray trend that supports a dismal spot for him, Tuck. Mm-hmm. Give me the Packers -5, best bet.
Yeah, honestly, this reminds me of kind of the Chiefs-Saints line that last week I fell for, and I'm going to take the Packers side of it, hence the Chiefs side of it.
Yep.
Cardinals coming off a big win. Everybody's going to be rallying around the Cardinals' big win, and you said it perfectly. Kyler, after these spots, really just craps his pants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I was trying to look it up, Kyler Murray's never experienced Lambeau Field. I don't think he's played in Lambeau Field. I don't think he has. The last I saw that he played the Packers, they were at Arizona, in Arizona,
mm-hmm.
and he had 0 touchdowns and 2 picks. So I don't think he's played in Lambeau Field.
I don't know. That's a good question. He's been banged up so much.
Right.
If they went there, did he play? I don't know. I have to look that up.
I mean, how can you not have that listed as a factor, too? I mean, the Packers are just completely different at Lambeau, and they found something with Tucker Kraft. I understand that Dobbs was suspended last week, and Kraft saw more attention, but he looks like a legit weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They found something there, and they're going to continue to use him. And Dobbs will be back. I think he's going to mix it in and make it a point to be like, hey, I'm buying in. Sorry, guys, my bad.
Yeah.
I made it about myself. This is a team, and they're going to reward him with that. I just don't believe in the Cardinals to win in back-to-back massive games here. And I think this is a double-digit victory by the Packers.
I also think Jaden Reed's a star, by the way.
Star.
A star with love.
Yep.
I mean, even with Willis, he played well.
I think Jari Alexander's going to, cover Harrison the best he can and
Yep.
maybe allow, 75 yards to Harrison.
If that.
Yeah, I got the Packers by double digits in this one. I think this line's wrong.
Yep. Love this spot.
All right. Well, there are our best bets and likes. So let me just do a quick recap here. Jags Bears over 44.5. Texans -7. Packers -5. Lions -3 for me. And my best bet was Falcons -6. Matt, you had Jacksonville +2.5. Philly -8.5. Detroit -3. Double like. New York Jets +2.5. And Green Bay best bet double like for me as well. -5 there. Did I miss anything? Did I cover everything?
You did not miss anything. You did cover everything. And that's it.
All right. Well, folks, if you learned anything today, I hope you reheat your fried rice and destroy the bacteria and don't let it sit on the counter for 4 or 5 hours.
We forgot one thing.
What?
What's up with the eyes? They look great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a little yeah, I don't know what it was. The doctor was like, yeah, you're not contagious. And they prescribed me steroid drops, which I didn't get because I was just like, I don't want to give my eyes steroids.
A little HGH in the eye?
Yeah, I'll get a little jacked, you know.
They're like, too ripped.
These drops could increase the risk of glaucoma if you're using them incorrectly. So I'm like, all right, well, let me not pick this up yet. And it kind of just worked itself out. Like they're a little-ish. I don't know if you can see like a little. I don't know. You see anything?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit, but it looks way better than last week.
Yeah. Last week I was just
felt like we had to go that
pink. So I've just given the context a break, but yeah. Nonetheless, thank you for checking in, my pink eyes.
I was a little worried.
Hearts and thoughts and prayers with your colon and your
we're back.
Stomach.
Everything's back. Everything's back.
Okay, good. In your bathroom. Your toilet.
Back to solid number 2.
Your toilet. Your poor toilet.
My poor toilet.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for checking us out. And please subscribe and like us and all that stuff. We really do appreciate it.
Yep.
And if you haven't done so, please do so. Good luck, everybody. Week 6. I'm feeling good about it. I think the 2-3 streak is over for the better.
You think it is?
2-3 Tuck, I think, is gone this week.
Okay, better though. We're going
better. It's not going to be 1-4 Tuck.
I like that.
Yeah. I think
Listen, if you do get,
I think it's 3-2 Tuck.
I just want to say, if you get 2 wins, I want it to be Green Bay and Detroit. I'm just going to throw that out there.
All right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. See you, everybody. Bye bye. Good luck.